Hey YouTube, what's this? It looks like an energy drink. No, it is not. It is the Brous Blades Bionic. Yes, it comes in this protective canister, much like the Terminator's forearm. Pretty damn cool. Alright, aluminum handle scales, steel liners. It's anodized aluminum. You can get it in red, blue, orange, black. Very nice. Look at the detail on that. Just very attractive styling, and I understand why it's called the Bionic. It's a very unified theme to this knife. And here is the clip side. Now this is a 2-position pocket clip, right or left, tip, up, carry. This knife weighs only 2.5 ounces, so very lightweight. Definitely everyday carry was in mind when this was designed. I like the font where it says Brous Blades on the clip. A very strong font, but not overpowering. And here's the whole knife in the open position. It is a hollow grind to that blade with a high bevel, a satin finish to that D2 blade. And you see it has a flipper which turns into a little bit of a guard. The close-up of the blade itself, nice, a very functional blade shape. You know, the tip, it's forward of the center line of the knife. It drops down, but a very utilitarian blade shape. Looks nice too. A good slicer. I've found that most everyday carry tasks boil down to some form of slicing. Slicing open a package, slicing an apple, other food preparation, even really, slicing a bad guy, it's still a slice. And a nice close-up for you. Nice. I mean, look at the camera loves this blade. I mean, look at the detail there. Wow. Yeah, I like the red anodized finish. Open pillar construction. See that there? A little bit of jimping there. Let's check out the centering. Pretty good. Maybe a tiny bit over to the left. Alright, and you can open this 2 ways. The first way is via the flipper. It pops open quite well. You can also use this this fuller right here, kind of like you would use an opening hole if you don't want to flip it out real quick. If you don't want to, draw all sorts of attention, right? You can open it with this, slowly, and the low profile opening is what I'll call that. All right, and initial sharpness. Yeah, it is quite sharp, so be careful. Alright, and let's do a little comparison. This knife is a good knife to compare it to the Benchmade Emissary, mainly because they are, if I remember correctly, this was around the same price as the Bionic, and they both have aluminum handle scales, and they're around the same overall length. Alright, so that's your size comparison, the Bionic to a Benchmade. All right, and let's compare. A similar overall length, very close in overall length, blade length, handle length, and I think this gives a serious, gives the Benchmade a serious run for its money. Kind of depends what type of blade shape you like. Obviously a wider blade here, better for some uses. Alright, so that should give you a good comparison as far as where does this fit in against other everyday carry blades. And I love the smoothness on that pivot. Now if you're wondering, how did he get this to be only 2.5 ounces? Well, check it out. I don't know if you, yeah, there you can see the steel liners. Those are heavily skeletonized. All right, very good. You know, it just provides, you know, a stiff, structurally sound frame, right? But yeah, those were skeletonized out as much as was viable, and that's why this thing is so, it's just so light and easy to carry. What do I overall think of this knife? Well, you know, it's definitely a very, very valid attempt by Jason to make his knives more affordable. Okay, he wants everybody to be able to own one of his knives, but they're still, you know, it's still very high quality. I mean, it's a high quality production knife. It handles like a dream. I mean, it opens, the opening is just very smooth. I didn't even, I put like no effort into that, and it still popped open because it has a good detent. All right, it has a good detent. So when you open it, you know, it builds up the pressure and then it just kind of flies open. So yeah, he definitely did that pivot right. As far as the lockup, well, the camera doesn't lie, my friend. That is the lockup there. Nice. And it doesn't flex, okay? I'm pushing on the spine here. And yeah, that liner is good. It doesn't have any play. Easy to disengage. It's a very solid knife. I mean, the blade length, that's classic everyday carry length. 3 inches is the most popular, you know, from all the people I've talked to who carry. Yeah, that's a very good length. Less than 4 ounces is good. This is less than 3 ounces, which is better. Yeah, I could definitely see this. I mean, this is a very viable everyday carry option. And like I said, I prefer a slicing type of blade shape such as this, right? And the forward tip, I prefer that too. You know, whether it be Wharncliffe, even a little bit of a hawkbill, or like this. Yeah, I see where he's going with the blade shape, and I agree. And D2 steel, you know, it's not stainless, but it's on the edge. It still has a high resistance to rust, and it's just a good steel all around. I find it interesting that he chose what's called a sterile blade, meaning the blade has no writing on it. It has no writing at all on the blade. I like that. I think it goes, you know, it goes perfectly with the theme. You know, you could almost like a mysterious alien artifact here. Yeah, there's very few things that need to be written on the blade. Maybe write the blade steel on it, you know, in some kind of maybe computer or robot-looking font. That might be cool, but that's really, you know, I don't like a lot of stuff written on my blades either. You know, let's not BS around here. The real question is, can a guy who started off as a custom knife maker, who does a lot of custom and mid-tech designs, can he design a production knife that can hang with Benchmade's production knives and Spyderco's higher-end production knives? I think the answer is yes. I think this Bionic, I think this design can hang with those production companies. All right, people, well, I hope you enjoyed seeing this latest blade from my collection, Brous Blades Bionic. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.